welcome back to another episode of Learning English. I'm Alex, your host for today.
And I'm Jordan. In today's episode, we're talking about something super important: how to look for a job. If you're just starting your job search, or you're not sure how to express yourself in English during the process, this episode is for you. We'll go over all the key phrases, words, and expressions you need to know when searching for a job and during interviews.
Exactly. Whether you're sending your resume, writing a cover letter, or getting ready for an interview, we've got you covered. So, let's dive right into it.
That's right, Alex. Searching for a job can be intimidating, but with the right words and phrases, you'll feel much more confident. We're here to guide you through it all, step by step.
Section 1. Key phrases for job searching.
All right, let's start with some common phrases you will need when looking for a job. The first thing you should know is how to search for jobs online.
Exactly. When you're looking for a job, you'll often come across phrases like job openings or vacancies. These simply mean available positions that companies are hiring for. For example, you might say, "I'm looking for job openings in marketing." Are there any vacancies in your company?
Exactly. And once you find a job that interests you, it's time to apply. Now, when you apply for a job, you send your resume and cover letter. Awana Resumes is a document that summarizes your skills, experience, and education. A cover letter, on the other hand, is a letter where you explain why you are a good fit for the job.
Right. So, when you're applying, you'll probably need to submit these two documents, and sometimes companies may ask for additional documents like your portfolio or references.
Exactly. Let's go over those terms for a moment. A portfolio is a collection of your work, often used for creative jobs like design or photography. References are people who can vouch for your qualifications, like former bosses or colleagues.
Perfect. So, now that we know how to apply, let's talk about what happens when you get invited for an interview.
Yes, the interview is your opportunity to show the company that you're the best candidate for the job. But it's not just about answering their questions. You'll also need to ask some key questions yourself.
When you're sending your resume, remember to tailor it to each job you're applying for. This means highlighting the experience and skills that are most relevant to the job description. For example, if you're applying for a sales position, you'll want to emphasize your experience in customer service or sales techniques.
That's a great point. Tailoring your resume shows that you took the time to understand the job and the company. It increases your chances of getting noticed. And remember, don't make your resume too long. Ideally, it should be 1 or 2 pages long. The key is clarity.
Right, clarity is important. Also, don't forget about the job description. Before applying, always read the job description carefully to make sure you meet the qualifications and requirements listed. Some common qualifications include a certain degree, years of experience, or specific skills like knowledge of Microsoft Excel or programming languages.
Absolutely. And when you're applying online, many companies use applicant tracking systems, ATS, to sort resumes. That means your resume is scanned for keywords related to the job. So, make sure you include relevant skills and job titles mentioned in the job description.
Section 2. Useful vocabulary for job interviews.
All right, now that you've applied and got an interview, let's talk about what to expect during the interview and the key vocabulary to help you succeed.
The first thing they'll probably ask is about your qualifications. You can say, "I have the qualifications required for this job." Qualifications include your education and experience, but also any certifications or specialized training you've completed.
Right. And when they ask about your skills, you want to talk about the things you're good at and how those skills will help you succeed in the role. For example, if you're applying for a customer service position, you might say, "My skills include effective communication and problem solving, which help me resolve customer issues quickly."
Exactly. And during the interview, they may ask you to describe your experience in more detail. For example, Can you tell me about a time when you solved a difficult problem at work? This is called a behavioral interview question. To answer these, you can use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result.
That's a great technique. For example, if they ask you about teamwork, you could say, "In my last job, I worked on a project with the team to launch a new product. My task was to manage the product's marketing campaign. I took the lead in organizing team meetings and delegating tasks, and as a result, the campaign was a success." This shows your ability to work well with others and solve problems.
Yes, and one key part of the interview is talking about your strengths and weaknesses. For example, when talking about your strengths, don't be afraid to give examples of times when you demonstrated those strengths.
Exactly. And for weaknesses, remember to talk about something that you're actively working to improve. They don't expect you to be perfect, but they do want to see that you are self-aware and motivated to grow.
Another important point is to always be professional. You should dress according to the company culture. If you're not sure what to wear, it's better to overdress than underdress.
Jordan. Absolutely. Dressing appropriately shows that you respect the interview process, and during the interview, maintain good body language. Sit up straight, make eye contact, and smile. It's all about showing confidence.
Yes, and don't forget to listen carefully to the interviewer's questions. It's okay to take a moment to think about your answer. If you're unsure about a question, you can always ask for clarification.
Right. And when it's your turn to ask questions, make sure your questions are thoughtful. For instance, you can ask, "What's the team environment like? How does the company support professional development and growth?"
Section 3. Key questions to ask during the interview.
All right, now let's discuss the importance of asking the right questions during your interview.
Yes, asking questions is a great way to show your interest in the role and demonstrate that you've done your homework about the company. Some good questions to ask include, what are the main responsibilities of this position? What are the challenges I might face in this role? What is the company culture like? Are there opportunities for advancement?
Exactly. You should also ask about the next steps in the hiring process so you know what to expect.
Another thing to consider is asking about work-life balance. For example, you might say, how does the company support a healthy work-life balance for its employees? Section 4. After the interview, following up and handling offers. After the interview, it's crucial to send a follow-up email.
Yes, a follow-up email shows appreciation and helps you stay on the interviewer's mind. You can thank them for their time, briefly mention something you discussed, and express excitement about the next steps.
Here's an example. Thank you for the opportunity to interview for the marketing manager position. I enjoyed learning more about the role and am very excited about the opportunity to contribute to your team.
Perfect. And if you receive a job offer, take the time to review the offer letter carefully. The letter will include important details like salary, benefits, and job expectations. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
If everything looks good, you can accept the offer by saying something like, "Thank you for the offer. I'm excited to accept the position and look forward to starting work on date."
And if anything is unclear, you can always ask for clarification, especially if it involves salary or benefits.
That wraps up today's episode. Now you have a lot of useful phrases and tips for your job search and interview process.
Exactly. The key is to practice these phrases and use them confidently during your interviews and job applications. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become.
Good luck with your job search, and remember, even if you face some setbacks, stay positive and keep learning.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you found today's episode helpful. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.